All right. Hello, folks. Once again, we are back on the Big Gold Belt Wrestling Podcast. It's your boy, Heel Will Mahoney, here with two James.
Yo, how's it going?
All right, man. Another Thursday night here. I hope your week's been going good. It's been a crazy week for those of us following wrestling this week, for sure.
Yeah.
But we're gonna take it in a different direction tonight because we have a guest I am very excited about here tonight. A man that, if you've been following along, I've mentioned a few times, especially over the last month, because I think 2019 could be a very interesting year for our guest tonight, and that is the Breaux Keller is with us here tonight.
What is going on?
The man who brings the party.
You guys are way too kind. You're flattering me over here. I feel like I'm blushing. Getting me all hyped up.
Well, Lord knows, I mean, from the first time we saw you at Nova Pro, I mean, that's kind of your MO. You come out hyped up.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%. Once that music hits, I feel it running right through my body. I'm out like a cannon. That's just everything. I'm excited. I get so pumped just to be with the fans, you know, get that reaction from them and just make those connections. What more is there in this life to be happier about?
Absolutely. If it's a Friday night or a Saturday night at wrestling, you want a party, you want a good time, and Breaux Keller delivers that from the moment the music hits. That is without question.
Yeah, you know, I always say that somebody who's breaking into a new promotion, when they come out and it's like, hey, you know, people are looking like, I don't know who you are. Like, that's not the impression you want to give. But like, I literally remember yours because I was just like, yo, this guy right here, just like for a dark match or a pre-show match, like the energy was just there. And I literally remember that match because I was like, at the time I had never heard of you. I had never heard of Ace Perry, and then Donovan was it Downhausen? I think that's how you pronounce it.
The three of us were in that match.
Yeah, and I was just thinking to myself, like, never heard of you guys. You brought a ton of energy, like, and you worked so good together, like literally left like a good impression, you know, for the fans who have for the opening match as well too. So moving forward, still seeing you down the line, I was just like, yo, this guy that wasn't a one-off with that intensity. That's who he is.
Not a bit. I live it. Yep, that's me all the time, 100%. You know?
Yeah.
But even with that show, I don't know if it was that one or it might have been the one after that. I can't recall. But there were like 2 or 3 in a row. That was at Nova, of course, where I didn't even have music. For whatever reason, the audio just was not working. So that just added another obstacle in front to try to get the crowds on my side. But, yeah, I mean, coming out with that energy and that explosiveness, I mean, that's what wrestling is all about. I mean, we're characters as well as athletes, and I don't know, I just have too much fun with it. It's like second nature for me.
So how much of that is, I from my observation of, you know, seeing you within a promotion and outside in public, how much of that is really actually character? Because that persona is just you straight down the line.
Pretty much. That's all. What you see is what you get with me.
I'm not going to bring my secrets out yet, but it is something I want to bring up one time that I would never forget.
I'm curious now. You definitely piqued my interest.
But nonetheless, so that you talked about character, you talk about the athleticism. There's no secret that you definitely have the build of someone who has some type of background in some other type of profession. So we're curious to know.
There's got to be some kind of backstory.
Yes, that is a very, very fair assumption. No, through high school, multi-sport athlete. So you have the fall into the winter months where I was playing football. I was a free safety, led the league in tackles. Little fun fact for you. But as a safety, so that tells you how bad our defense was. But no, played football, and once the tail end of winter rolled around, I did indoor track. I was a hurdler, and then of course in the spring did outdoor track, which was my love. Because then I eventually went on to college, and in college then, of course, I ran track. I had the option to play football, but quick little backstory. I tore the labrum in my hip my senior year of football, So I actually had to switch my lead leg and my trail leg for the winter and spring for when I was doing the hurdles. So that was quite an obstacle that was not fun or pleasant to try to figure out. But yeah, going to college, 3-time conference champion at Kutztown University, and went on to nationals then as well, 2-time All-American. So yeah, there's just a little bit of a an athletic background here.
A little bit of some credentials.
Yeah,
See, now
I try to pack my resume.
And now we know where that darn dive over the top rope comes from. It's from the hurdles.
Well, the thing is, I don't really tell many people, but I actually have a couple of bunnies that I stuff in my shoes before each match. So they help me get over. I mean, that's the secret right there. It's out.
That is definitely one of the spots that definitely, of course, caught people's eyes immediately when you first came around, where it's like, oh man, this dude can fly. This is a tall drink of water, and he can also fly over that top rope like nothing.
Yeah,
not a combination you see too often.
No, and again, just like what we were saying before, it's trying to do new things that not many people are seeing all the time. Trying to utilize the attributes that I do have in order to, find a skill set and a move set that I'm comfortable with and that works for me and hopefully allows me to stand out.
Awesome. So from what I was finding as we got ready for this, did you just get your start in 2016?
I did. Yeah, I guess it was about 2 years ago. 2 years ago in a few weeks, probably, maybe a month, when I actually debuted up here in Pennsylvania with Atomic Championship Wrestling. Actually, that's my home company. My trainer is Twisted Tate, and he is the owner of Atomic along with his wife, Lufisto. I'm sure you're familiar with the name.
Okay.
So... yeah, I've been lucky enough to be under their tutelage and basically just be under, their tree of knowledge, which has been super nice. And, I can't thank them enough for everything that they've, taught me and have helped guide me along the way.
Awesomeness. And from what I'm seeing, you've had quite the run there with the Atomic Championship Wrestling heavyweight title.
Yeah.
It looks like.
Oh, yeah. Current champion right now. So.
Yep. 3 times.
February, I got to defend that piece.
And it looks like, within the first year, you were getting that championship gold. The accolades were coming quickly.
I was hungry. I jumped right in there. So I took advantage of every opportunity I could.
And some very notable opponents too. Robbie E being one. Robbie E is actually going to be on TV tonight for the Rock
Titan
show.
Games?
Yeah, the Titan Games. Yeah.
I saw that.
Yep. Teddy Hart, you faced it, and obviously I have to give him his very own moment because he requested this of me. But you also have faced Victor Benjamin. We need a second for him.
Yeah, we'll take a second, a moment of silence for the Savage Gentleman, Victor Benjamin. But he likes to think he's better than me, but anytime he's won, I hope he's watching this right now. He knows, I know, and his wifey, Miss Lady Frost, knows that they cheat. So when I finally got that victory to reclaim my title, I was a pretty happy pup.
Can you talk about at what point? I couldn't find any information on this. When the title became vacant, this is your home promotion, so there was a moment when no one held the title.
Yeah, actually, you kind of just touched on it. It was when Teddy Hart was champion. He actually beat me for the title. And the following month, he wasn't able to make the show. I forget what happened. I think he was having car issues. It was super unfortunate. So he wasn't able to defend it. So we kind of had a triple threat open challenge, if you will. And actually, Victor Benjamin was a part of that match. Along with G-Raver. So, yeah, we had ourselves a little three-way dance. And I won't say that I lost because I was not pinned or submitted. So I will say, though, I didn't come up victorious that night. Victor Benjamin did. So from Teddy Hart to Victor, the title was vacant for a short while.
Right on. Also, too, notably, I noticed is that Breaux Keller is billed from Cockeysville, Maryland.
Indeed. Indeed, he is, but he lives in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, home of the Amish.
Sounds like a two totally different dynamics here.
By all means, they're way different dynamics. If we're being super honest, I don't know if I've ever been to Cockeysville, Maryland. It just honestly fit the character, if you will, if I'm allowed to present that.
This is your show.
Okay, I'm just saying.
We're pulling back the curtain.
Character. Yeah, just giving everybody a little sneak peek back here.
Yeah, okay.
But Cockeysville, it fit the character. Breaux Keller, Cockeysville. Yeah. Trying to have some fun. I mean, cocky in there, it seemed fitting.
I feel you. Yeah. So like Will said, you did make the transition to wrestling in 2016, but you know, you had you seem to have a bright future in football, and track is one of those sports that really doesn't have an expiration date. So at what point did you realize that neither of the two was going to work for you?
In all honesty, I kind of had like this in my head from my parents, I will say, this set plan. So from high school, you go to college. From college, you go into the real world, join the workforce, and you're just a part of society. So I graduated college, and it was really just a matter of I need to do what, is the social norm. So I got a job. And I worked for Comcast. So shout out to Comcast. I'm sure everybody loves them. And
I don't want this to be cut off, so I won't say anything bad.
Yeah, okay. That's very fair. Very fair point. I am using their internet right now. So thank you, Comcast. You're great. Just lovely group of people. But no, I worked there, and actually the guy that sat across from me was a big fan of wrestling. So we were able to shoot the stuff every now and again, talk about wrestling in between calls and whatnot. And in my mind, I was too small. I didn't see myself as being, professional wrestler, because you look at these guys, they're larger than life monsters. And in my head, I couldn't do it. It was just taboo. But one day, my brother actually had a connect. Jamie Senegal, not sure if you're familiar with the name, but him and my brother were dating. So we had like a bonfire. I started talking to Jamie, and he was like, yeah, tomorrow, you're coming with me. So at that point, I was just like, all right, cool, let's dive in on this. And the very next day, I went to training with him. We helped set up the ring. It was kind of just like very grassroots. Set up the ring, put the mat down, put the ropes up, hop in the ring, do some rolls, and it kind of just felt natural. It was like second nature for me. And, I mean, I've always loved wrestling, but in the ring and being able to feel the ropes, the mat, smell it, it felt like home.
Interesting. Too small. Do you still feel that way? Because obviously we know that's not true.
Well, what's that? Being in the ring?
No, being too small.
Oh. Well, I don't know. It's such a topic anymore, because you see these guys nowadays where size isn't necessarily the biggest attribute needed.
Right.
Made, CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, those guys were kind of paving the way in terms of, the highest stage up in WWE. And then now you have guys all over the place that aren't necessarily 6'6", 260 pounds.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've been putting on weight as much as I could over the past year and really trying to grow my stature. And no, I'm pretty comfortable with where I'm at now. I'd like to be a little bit more tan, but that's neither here nor there.
I'm just saying, if you go tan, I don't know what the Nova fans are going to be able to do, man. They're already heads over heels for you, so.
Still making me blush with these compliments. You're too kind.
Gotta get that winter tan going as we head into the cold months here.
I'm just letting you know.
Much appreciated.
But yeah, go ahead, Will.
I'm saying, like, okay, so going into this, since you started up so recently in just the last few years, and it wasn't like you you were doing other athletic stuff, and then you make the turn into this, but you were a fan of wrestling before this. So, like, as you were getting your start, was there anyone you were thinking, like, well, I kind of want to pattern myself after this guy, or, you know, guys that you had in mind that, whether it worked out or not, but just like kind of what your initial thoughts were, like, you know, oh, I want to be like Eddie Guerrero, or, you know.
Yeah. No, I mean, honestly, just watching it, being a fan, especially keeping up with the product that's out there on national TV, WWE, shout out to them. You see guys like Seth Rollins. He is just an athletic freak.
Right.
And you try to implement some of these things these guys are doing because, A, obviously it's been successful for him.
Right.
And B, I'm comfortable with my athletic abilities. So when I see guys innovating and doing these different moves and skill sets, then it's like, oh, well, I should try to do that myself. So Seth Rollins, to answer your question, being one of them. Also Dolph Ziggler. Big fan of Dolph Ziggler in his period in the WWE. I just love the way that he sells. He's very good at that.
Right.
Everything you see him do, it's just perfect. It's to a T. To that point then as well, Mr. Perfect, Kurt Hennig,
right,
another guy that I love to study and watch. I like to use some of his moves as inspiration as well. So just kind of more of like that athletic base. Some of these guys that, you know, can really put on a show, not only with their moves, with their character and doing some cool stuff, as well as telling a good story.
And I can see some of the Dolph Ziggler personality now that you mentioned that name. I'm like, my God, how'd that never click before?
Yeah,
totally can see a little bit of that.
That's my guy.
Yeah, well, I got a few questions for you as well. So, does that mean you're still a fan of Breaux Keller?
Oh, whoa! Is there some backstory here?
Not exactly my most favorite guy.
Okay.
But I can see the similarities, especially when it comes to the bumping.
No, we were just talking about how he gets booked that time. Yeah, but I do agree. I do see some of the similarity. I never even realized that myself until you just said it.
We got the blonde hair too. That's working out pretty nicely.
Oh, look, the viewership just went up. I'm not even playing.
Look at that. Getting some of the locks in there.
Hey, before the show's over, make sure you give your buddy that said this was going to be the lowest rating show a shout out. Just so we can.
Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do that.
Yeah, we're gonna give him his moment, right?
Exactly. He'll have his moment. We'll knock it out of the park right now. Steve Killhart, if you will. This will not be the lowest rated show. And here is a second moment of silence in the show for you now. So we have the Savage Gentleman, Victor Benjamin, as well as Killhart. They both get their little moment of time here.
Taking names Thursday night on the Big Gold Belt podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So you mentioned being trained by Twisted and Lufisto. Now, that's years of experience and skill right there. But talk about the mental toughness, especially displayed by Lufisto over the last year. That was either, you know, you learned or was embedded in you under their teachings.
I mean, there are countless times and lessons that they've put me, I should say taught to me. Especially Lufisto. You kind of just touched on it with her resilience. She had a stint with cancer, and she went through a very tough time. Had to take a little bit of time off from wrestling even, which is her love. It's her passion. It's her baby. So seeing her go through that and still maintain a positive attitude, because it's no joke. Cancer is cancer. It is deadly. And seeing the way that she powered through that and where she's at now, just continuing to travel. She's going overseas. She's been in Europe, Canada, obviously, here in the States. So it's been amazing being there and watching her continuing to grow and develop herself going through those tough times, because it's not easy, as well as her support system of us students and her husband, Twisted Tate. He's a guy that is always dropping bits of knowledge to me. He's always sharing what he can in order to help me progress in my career, because he's been doing it for 20 years now. So he's seen this, he's seen that, and he can kind of give me a heads up, smarten me up, if you will, on certain aspects, which has been really nice. Even extending it beyond them. Like I said a little bit ago, I'm in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and this is like a hotbed for wrestlers. So I live in the city. Literally like 5 blocks away is Tim Donst, which I'm sure is a name you're familiar with.
Right. We'll be bringing up soon. Yep.
Yeah, he's been a great mentor for me. I mean, he's helped me a ton, just in terms of storytelling, because I look up to him as one of the best wrestlers in terms of creativity and putting matches together. He's just very creative and very precise in what he wants to do, because he knows how to invoke those reactions. He's helped me just even get my name out there, even with Nova. He's my traveling buddy. So he keeps me company. I keep him company. We have great trips, and it's just a lot of fun because we're buddies, and that's what makes it even better. We can just share stories and whatnot. But even like adding to that list, like Mandy Leon and Delirious, they live in Lancaster. Adam Cole, before he went up to NXT, he lived in Lancaster. And Tim Donst and LuFisto, like I just said, Twisted Tate, like we have a lot of talent within this town.
Yeah, and just to touch on a few other names, not that live in Lancaster, but people you work with, as we talk about Nova, you had since your stint in from 2017, you work with opponents such as Travis Huckabee, Tim Donst, like you said, and Jonathan Gresham. Well within great company. You've already talked about your relationship with Tim Donst, but let's get just a tad bit more specific with that. You talk about his creativity. Can you please reveal the curtains behind what is the conversation when the safety first gimmick came about, but not just that, when it was like, well, we need the safety squad.
I had a feeling you were going there with that.
Uh-oh.
No, I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. I mean, I know there's this guy that people confuse me with. This Cool Caution Kyle. Seems like a really cool dude. Super nifty guy. I see him backstage a ton. Literally every show he's there. Yeah, he's a stud too. Have you seen him?
Look, if you have his email, please forward that to us. Do we have questions for him?
I can certainly do that. I'll make sure at the next show when I see him, I'll relay all the info.
That's who we need to get the true story from. There you go.
Exactly. He'll tell you everything you need to
know. You have any other moments that you can share as far as with you and Tim? Again, I been fortunate at times to be with Nova and seeing Tim as, complete professional, comes in, speaks to everybody, sits his stuff down, and he, figures out his assignment and goes to work. And then you get to see the gears turning.
Oh yeah.
And it's from every match, from depending on the gimmick, if it's hardcore Tim Donst or if it's safety first Tim Donst, this guy, he puts on a match, he builds the chemistry, he always gets the crowd involved. Having somebody like that, not only just as a mentor, but you said as a role buddy, which clearly is a friend. I still got something I'm gonna have to say about you too. And
oh boy.
just having that type of contact. What does it mean to you?
Oh, it means a lot. I mean, we started off as friends before even the wrestling came along. I mentioned earlier with Adam Cole being in the area, the three of us were at a party together, and they were, of course, talking about matches that they've had in the past. And I was there. I think I was wrestling for maybe, a month. And Donst was just super cool, open, and inviting. And he was just dropping hints of knowledge even back then, just saying, hey, you should try to take this path. You should make sure you're doing these things, giving me advice in terms of etiquette when going to shows. And like getting, when you're there, like getting, like you mentioned, your assignments and meeting up with your opponent then and figuring some things out. So he is constantly giving me advice and dropping knowledge. I think his gears are turning 24 hours a day, just thinking wrestling. Even when we're just texting back and forth, if I don't respond to him fast enough, He'll say like I no sold him on the text. So like, it's always wrestling with him, and I admire that so much because I mean you can see it in his work. He's so good at what he does. In order to make even the safety first character, it's a funnier character, if you will, but you take it seriously. You enjoy the moments of comedy that that's presented, but he's still a legitimate wrestler that you have to prepare for and battle in the ring. Yeah. So he's always going, and it's just so nice to be around that because it helps me learn at an expedited rate.
Right on.
See, that means we gotta go back now and watch that the match between you two from Nova Project 4 over again. That's like
that was a fun one.
There's a whole new spin on that one now, knowing
all
the backstory.
Oh yeah, exactly. That's my good buddy. He's my mentor, but man, he hits pretty hard. So we went after it that night.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that's where I would say starting at Nova Project 4 at the beginning of the fall, since that was in September. That's kind of where it seems like at Nova the fuse got lit on the rocket for the bros rise that we are beginning to experience here. From that to I loved the next month. We had people asking about it, so we got to bring it up. The next month when we had the Sadie Hawkins Invitational, and you and Willow Nightingale formed
had a blast.
Quite the interesting team. And I do got to say this. I loved that the gear matched.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It was like the universe was there with us.
As soon as y'all came out, I was like, matching gear. Yes.
Yeah. It was perfect.
Personal little thing for me with tag teams. If there's matching gear, it's always better.
Oh, 100%. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, that's what makes a team.
There you
gotta
go.
wear matching uniforms.
I just have to know, like, who has the bigger smile between the two of you two?
Oh, that's tough. I mean, Willow's super awesome, so I got to give it to her. She's amazing.
There's a lot of pride behind those teeth of you two for sure. Like whenever you come out, it just brightens it up. Like so much charisma and energy from you two.
Well, that was just such a happy accident, even because I was slated to team with Barbie Hayden. We were going to be a very attractive tag team or whatever.
That's right.
That's right.
Yeah. But I guess she had flight issues or she might have been injured. Honestly, can't fully remember.
Yeah.
But yeah, Willow was there and she was all about tagging with me. So,
and
like you just said, it was great.
People want the encore of that.
That makes two of us because I want the encore as well.
Well, we'll make
it
three. We'll make it three. We got to get that team needs to get back in the ring somewhere, some point in 2019. Mm-hmm. We need more of that.
Whoever's listening and can make that happen, please do so.
Still talking Nova now. We definitely have to talk about two of your most notable matches against a very stellar opponent. Which a lot of people credit this person as one of the best wrestlers in the entire world, and that's against Jonathan Gresham.
Yes.
I talking to the guy plenty of times. I mean, he's just again another person filled with knowledge, both in and out the ring. Very professional. Has a great sense of just a great head on his shoulders about the world around him and so forth. Mm-hmm. Like. Being around him is just almost you could be speechless at time because you want to just take it all in. But sharing the ring with this guy, knowing what he can do. We had Sage Phillips on the show not too long ago, and I believe Sage maybe gave us about 20 minutes worth of just elaborating about the knowledge that he gained from him and just the opportunity what he learned and moving forward. But you've obviously had the opportunity to share the ring with him twice. Very hard hitting match, and it's I gotta imagine it just has to be an honor to be in the ring with somebody of that stature. But can you take us through the two matches and obviously what you've learned from it?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, you really nailed every point on the head there because he is the best wrestler that I've been in the ring with. But I can't debate the argument that he's the best in the world because. He's so smooth. He's so crisp with everything he does. There actually is a picture out there somewhere on the Facebook world where his feet are just planted in my face. So he comes with it. I honor and respect that times a million, because that's what makes it that much better. Because if he's going to bring it, I'm going to bring it, and it just continues to compound and makes for a fun match. But no, he is so genuine in terms of wrestling, where he wants, just like Tim Donst, he wants to invoke those reactions from the audience. He knows where to put certain things, because he can pick apart what's gonna get some sort of reaction, and he can put them where they should be, and he knows how to tell the story so well. So even just sitting there and putting a match together with him is just like sitting in a classroom. It's like being back in school. It's like, okay, well, let me go get my notebook. Let me get my pen. What's up, Teach? What are we doing? So, I mean, it's so great. And even with him, he's in the next town over, York County, Pennsylvania. So he's like 25, 30 minutes away from here too. Just another name to add to that list. But it's so easy with him, because he's very open to ideas. And he is just so good at putting things together. So if I tell him what I'm capable of doing, and, he fires back with what he's capable of doing, he can put things where they need to be. I can't emphasize that enough. He's just so talented. And like, even just purely wrestling with him, he is so good. And just feeling him in the ring and what he's doing, where he's going, it's like I'm just learning from that. It's like, okay, well, let me try to adjust myself now and see how I can get back on top. He is very talented. Like you said with Sage, like I can't say enough good things about him.
Right on. Yeah, I watching the matches, replaying the matches back on Powerbomb.tv or IndependentWrestling.tv. You can just like, I'm a huge fan of the guy, and just going back and seeing him work with people that that's obviously coming up, such as you and Sage Fizz, and just watching the chemistry in the ring. The guy is brilliant. Like, he is. Yeah.
And I gotta say, I'm super ticked off at myself, because I went for a move which I nail any other match. I don't know if it was just in my head or what, if it was just his presence that pushed me off the rope. But I tried to do a springboard on the guy twice, and 2 times I could not land it for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And obviously the record shows for itself. He got 2 wins. So I got to blame myself on those.
Yeah.
Super frustrating, but he is so much fun.
So outside of the 2+ years of being in the ring, do you have a special moment or opponent or match that really stands out for you?
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, like you were just mentioning, a lot of big time opponents here as of late, and I've been super fortunate and very grateful to have the opportunities to be in the ring with those guys, because I can't say enough about them. They've all been super helpful in different ways. It's not just, okay, yeah, this guy's a great wrestler, I got to have a match with him. No, they understand that I'm still learning. I'm super young in this business. So they're always extending their knowledge, and it's great to really be a family. I've been a part of so many amazing locker rooms, and I've been very lucky to have such great talent around me, but also just great people who want to help each other, because they understand that the more we push each other and the better everybody is in the locker room, the better the product will be, the better the industry will be. And it's just a healthy, growing, organic pattern of amazing wrestling. So I can easily say one match that stands out in my mind, of course, is my first match ever. And it was against my trainer, Twisted Tate. I think I had, from my day job, like probably 45 people there alone who were just going bananas out of their mind. And they were having way too much fun getting ready for this match. And I don't know if I can say this. I mean, it's on the DVD, so I think we're good. But I felt terrible, because the second I walked back through the curtain. All 45 of those people dipped right out of that audience. And you see them leaving, and the commentator's just like, where are they going? And I felt so bad watching it back. I was like, geez, they couldn't even stay for like 2 more matches. But, I mean, that's certainly a moment that will always stick out in my memory.
You literally bring the party, right?
Hey, I can't dispute that. You want some party? You want to have some fun? I got you.
Yeah, speaking of that Gresham moment, being drop kicked in the face, again, another moment, and I've seen you take a lot of brutal chops in your tenure at Nova. I've never seen you break your smile.
Nope, not at all. I will not break this smile. No chop strong enough will take this smile off of my face. But I give them some sort of target. I don't know what it is. I feel like I don't have the biggest chest in the world, but I guess it's just because of my broad shoulders. There's a lot of room there. But yeah, guys like to utilize that and put their paw prints on my chest.
Yeah. So your logo, obviously, there's a 80s type of feel.
Oh yeah, it's like the new 80s. It's got that nice retro vibe to it.
Yeah, and your shirt you're wearing now, obviously. I just want to know, is there a particular type of music that interests you?
I didn't even think about that. Yeah, it's kind of similar to that logo right there with the color scheme. Yep. But these guys right here, not sure if you can tell by the graphic alone, but Daft Punk,
of course,
is like my favorite musical act of all time. People always want to say, like, you know, they're throwing out Queen or I don't even know, Adele, whoever's the, you know, other popular people. But these guys are innovators of music, and I love it. And they're the originators of the party. Like, they started the electronic movement, and that's what I live for. So I'm all about Daft Punk.
You ever seen them in person?
No, and it's driving me nuts. I want to see them so bad, but they don't tour. They have like 2 concerts every 12 years.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's killing me, and I feel like I need to go over to France or something just so I can see one concert of theirs. But they're so impossible. But even that like adds to the mystique. It's like The Undertaker. Like, you only get to see them so often, but they're super cool. So I love them.
And in your long career, have you ever had any setbacks of any sorts? Injuries or anything else that may have slowed the momentum a little?
Yeah, actually, super frustrating. So I touched on the hip injury from high school to college, and that was an obstacle within itself, but we got past it, thankfully. Like I said, I was blessed. I'm super fortunate to have recovered from that and, you know, kind of adapt and adjust my hurdling style. But as of, I want to say like last year, super, super unfortunate because I just had this injury bug. I don't know what it was. I need to find some wood to knock on that it doesn't happen anymore. But yeah, I was doing that dive we mentioned earlier over the top.
Right.
And I think there were like 5 dudes waiting there for me. And somehow I think I caught maybe 3 fingers total of those 5 dudes. And I just smacked right against the floor. And in doing so, I tried to catch myself with my foot, but my toe hit the floor and my body said, let's smash it. So I hyperextended my toe. Ooh. And I had turf toe, if you will, for like 8 weeks. That was not fun.
Ouch.
Yeah, trying to work around that was very difficult. So I was in a boot. I could hardly walk. And it made me realize how often and how much you need to use your big toe. I just thought it was there. I didn't realize that I need to use it for like every single step I take.
Right. The things you take for granted.
Exactly. It's like as soon as you hurt something, you realize how often it's used. But yeah, that happened. And then I got this. What else happened? There's something with my elbow too. I got this weird injury in my back and my knees. But luckily, the past few months, everything's been smooth sailing. That all kind of dissipated in like the middle of the summer, I would say. So yeah, thankfully, hopefully this ball can continue to roll because I'm really getting like more comfortable in the ring and understanding dynamics between different wrestlers and putting matches together. So ideally, like I said, knock on wood, the injuries can just stay at home and not follow me out the door.
2019, looking bright.
Exactly.
I mean, coming off those Gresham matches, those got a lot of people's attention. At the end of that second one, you may have lost the match, but you got the endorsement. So
yes,
that handshake, that's pretty big.
It felt great. I mean, that was a powerful handshake. It was like I was talking to Thor in there. Dude had the hammer right there.
You got your own personal version of the Mega Powers handshake there.
Exactly.
To psych you up for 2019. I mean, that end of that match is when I tweeted out. I was like, Breaux Kellers, someone should be on folks' radar for 2019. The rocket is launched, so people need their eyes on you.
As long as the fuse is lit, I'm going to keep riding this thing as far as I can go. I'm just trying to do everything in my power, whether it's, get enough sleep at night, going into the gym, eating the right foods, and, of course, doing shows and getting that experience in front of audiences. So I'm trying to hang tight onto that rocket, and we'll see where it goes.
It's funny. Great transition here. Speaking of audiences, and speaking of things you like to do. You mentioned you like EDM, all the things you do in your daily wrestling shows, sports. But there's one thing that I don't think a lot of people may know, but some who may have attended the Commonwealth Cup at Nova Pro after party may have got a glimpse of this stellar performance of yours. And you are so lucky that I cannot find it within my Twitter because I know it's deep down in there. Can you speak about your I'm gonna call it your passion and love with karaoke?
Karaoke is my love, hands down. It's so funny you say this too, and I swear on everything in my life, I literally was doing karaoke last night. Out too late. I woke up late, got to the office late this morning. I was having too much fun singing last night.
Getting wild at Wednesday night karaoke.
100%. And I will tell you, I don't think you've ever heard Alanis Morissette performed better herself than what we did last night with Hand in My Pocket. Shout out to Alanis Morissette.
We need that video. Look, I'm just not to discredit anybody else, but I know there was a tone of energy at one point of people performing. It was cool. Then all of a sudden they was like, Bro and Tim here, and I was like, oh, that's what's up. And then that's I seen you guys walk through the door 1 second. Cut the corner the next second, a mic in your hand the third second. I'm like, oh, boy.
We do not mess around. And if there's anybody that loves karaoke as much as me, it's Tim Dons. He is always on board.
Tim turned his hat around. And I was like, okay, now things are really getting serious now.
Now that's when you know he means business.
Man, if I can dig that one up, oh, God,
somebody's got to have that.
That was a funny night.
The clips are out there.
What's that?
There's probably something buried in my phone somewhere.
Oh, yeah. That one goes in the Hall of Fame. That night, in general, was a blast and a half.
So much fun. So before we transition into things you got coming up, you got anything else you want to touch on, Will?
I've nailed everything I wanted to nail. I'm loving it.
Okay.
We got to talk about Flying V and where to see our man that we are putting over so big tonight coming into 2019, since we're only a few weeks away from Flying V fights debuting.
Yeah, so first off, I know you got a show that's going to be January 19th, which is at SWO. You'll be facing Killian McMurphy. That will be SWO's Gauntlet for Glory event. And then coming up January 25th, you will be down in Silver Spring, Maryland, which, like Will said, would be Flying V Fight or Flight debut event, which in this card you will be teaming with your buddy Safety First Tim Donks.
Oh yeah.
So
we're gonna have some fun.
First of all, now that I think about the ramifications here, I don't know if you've been to Silver Spring, Maryland, but it's absolutely it defines the place you need to be at. It is absolutely very vivid. It's absolutely the complete opposite of Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. All right. You've already sparked my attention.
It is the venue is amazing, but nonetheless, Silver Spring, Maryland, it has a little bit of everything for you. Concert hall across the street, Dave and Buster's, and a lot of cool other hangout spots.
Oh, I like me some Dave and Buster's.
Oh yeah. So you're bringing Safety First, Tim Donts, and Breaux Keller teaming up. So what can we look forward to you guys to you two being here? And will it be you, or you think maybe Tim may audible you out for a
that's his call. Yeah, he's the vet here, so that's his decision. If he'd rather have Cool Caution Kyle on his team, I mean, I get it. The dude is awesome. I totally understand. He's so cool. But no, I mean, the title itself is Fight or Flight, and I'm just trying to figure out why can't we do both? Because he knows I'm going to be flying, and Tim's going to be fighting. We're going to have some fun. It's going to be a blast and a half. But no, I think we are we're tagging against, am I mistaken, there's some Scottish or Irish gentlefolk?
Yeah, well, you may know more than what I do, but if you're talking about the Grimmy Scots, that could be possible. There's a few tag teams that is on this card, so we'll see. I was wondering myself where the dots going to connect, but that could be interesting.
Well, if it is them, they better hang on to their kilts and tie them up real tight because we're gonna knock them loose.
And
I'll tell you that much.
And that's January 25th, and you can get additional information about that at flyingvtheater.com or at flyingvtheater on Twitter.
Yeah, and folks better get moving on getting tickets for that because they're flying out the door. They're moving fast on that one. They're already 2/3 gone, so there's gonna be a full house Friday, January 25th in Silver Spring. So get on it, folks.
And that venue looks awesome, by the way. I saw a couple of pictures and a video too, of course.
Yep.
And it looked sweet.
Yeah. Talk about your theme and talk about you being an EDM fan. Just my 2 cents. Better get your order in early because there is going to be a laser technician on site.
What?
You're gonna have the club up in there that night.
So if you need to tweak that interest a little to your standards, phone a buddy because it's the real deal.
What? Wait, how do we? I want to sign up. How do we make this happen? Because I'm all about that life.
Hit Jason up, but it's the real deal.
I'm all on board for that. That's gonna be amazing. Count me in. Everything involved. This sounds great.
Yeah.
And, oh yeah. And the theme. You were asking about the theme song. Did you say theme, or is that just my brain, my imagination?
No. Your entire theme and everything. You just
gotcha.
Give them a shout. Figure it out. And not to overlook Killian McMurphy that you're facing on January 19th, who's also going to be on this card as well too. Is this an opponent you faced before?
No, we have never actually had a match together. I will say, though, there was a brief period of time, and by that I mean an afternoon, probably, I don't even know, a few months after I started wrestling, we were in Hazleton, and he happened to be at the Sanctuary, which is another promotion in that area. Mm-hmm. And we did a training session together. And that was about the extent of our time in the ring. So, decent guy then, but I don't know if we're going to be, having the same thoughts and feelings in a couple Saturdays from now. Because I'm, of course, going to want to win that match. But, every encounter, we've shared a couple locker rooms together. He's a good guy, and I'm looking forward to it.
He's another person on people's radar, expected to have a good 2019. So that indeed should be a great match.
The shooter.
So outside of the two promotions we talked about, did we forget anything? Any other promotions you're working coming soon?
Yeah, so I've gotten pretty busy here the remainder of the month.
Your time. Let us have it.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. I have a super exciting opportunity in a couple of weeks. It's actually the day after the Flying V event, and it will be Beyond Wrestling at the Shikara Wrestle Factory.
Word.
Yeah, that's Saturday. So I'm really looking forward to that. 26th, and then Sunday again, the 27th.
Nice.
So yeah, it's kind of like a tryout camp that they're having.
Nice.
And I was lucky enough to get my name in there, and they accepted me. So yeah, we're gonna be doing a camp that Saturday, and then we'll have some matches that Sunday. And if selected, I can then be on the main show following that camp. So I'm really looking forward to that. I've never been to the Shikara Wrestle Factory either. It looks super cool with the honeycomb in the background.
Yep.
So I'm pretty excited for that as well.
Right on. I just if I can just mock something up real quick, I need someone to record the first interaction between you and Bryce Williamsburg. I just I just don't know what I could expect from it, but I just need it to happen.
We can make that happen. Hell, we can probably get ourselves on some security footage somewhere too while we're at it. Get all angles for you.
There'll be a lot of energy involved, I'm sure.
Oh yes, we're gonna set the roof on fire there.
and before we close out, I have to ask you, 2019. What are your goals, or what measures success for you this year?
So it's funny you asked that, because I think just life in general, there's always that question of success. Who is successful? What is success? How do you define it? I think in wrestling, it's a little bit different because I'm just looking for opportunities, and any opportunity I can get, whether it be on a pre-show, in a dark match, on a main show, in a main event, holding a title, I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm not going to take it for granted, but I am going to grab a hold of it and try to run with it as fast and as far as I can. So any kind of success, to answer your question, is really just getting a foot in the door, whether it be a local company in a fire hall, whether it be in some small arena somewhere, whether it be a stadium. Doubt that'll happen, but just an example for you. I'm going to be excited and happy for the challenge because, like I said before, I'm really starting to get into a little bit of a groove here, trying to explore new options, new companies, new promotions, and take advantage of every opportunity that I can, because there's like a shelf life in this. We don't have tomorrow promised, and even 1 inch of a fraction of an inch in the ring, something bad could happen. I've already seen a guy break a neck and his career was over. So for me, it's really doing everything in my power to be safe, while also trying to succeed and put on a show for the fans. I would like to try to win more championships, of course. I would like to not lose, of course. But as long as the fans leave with a smile on their face, that's a win. That's a success right there.
Right on. And obviously, the important thing here is, where can fans find you and where can people book you?
Oh, yes, please, by all means. At Breaux Keller, that's BREAUX KELLER, Breaux Keller. Threw a little twist in there with the spelling, make it fun. That's on Twitter, that's on Instagram. Hit me up on Facebook at Breaux Keller. Snapchat, same deal. I mean, you name it, it's Breaux Keller. BREAUX. So yeah, I'm here. I'm listening. I will respond, of course, and I will take any bookings I can get.
Right on. Book this guy.
Easy to find and ready to go.
Right.
Absolutely.
And all his information is in the description below, so you can check that out there. Give the guy a follow. Check out his work. You can find matches on YouTube and obviously on Powerbomb.tv or Independent TV. So check them out.
Watch too many of my old matches on YouTube. They look a little goofy. I was a lanky, weird little noodle.
Hey, but look, it shows the growth. It absolutely do, because again, those Gresham matches are very, very, it's a very big indication of what 2019 has in store for you. So look forward to seeing more.
Thank you.
Will, anything else, or you can close out the show?
I think we can close it out. I'm glad we got the bro on here tonight to set up 2019. And we said, folks, keep an eye on this guy, whether it's coming up in Pennsylvania, whether it's in Maryland at Silver Spring, or down here at Nova. I'm sure we'll be seeing more of him. We got a big year ahead, and I think Breaux Keller is going to be a big part of it. So thank you for coming on the show tonight, Breaux Keller. I guess from there, we're going to call it a night.
That's right. All right. Well, thanks to everybody for tuning in, and we will get back to you guys very soon.